right, I'd like to start public session. I ask if you plan to address the council, please step up to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and address, and try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. One person is signed up to speak, Colton Dryden.
Hello, my name is Colton Dryden. I live at 329 Maple Street in Oswego, New York. I'm here in behalf of Oswego Pop Warner. And first of all, I'd like to thank the City Council and the City and ultimately the community for the overwhelming support that we've had recently with our current issue with the home field and home games. I'm here in support again of the Memorandum of Agreement with the City of Oswego and the City School District in order for us to hold home games for the remainder of this season and then throughout next season. We have currently 2 home games slotted for the rest of this year. Would that be consisting of the September 29th and then the October 6th home games. At this time, we have just received news today that although the City School District has not voted to approve the MOA yet, 2 of the board members of the school district have stepped up in order to pay the fees for us to hold at least starting with the 29th, and then we'll work with everybody else in the community to try to get also the 6th. This is obviously only a temporary fix for us. We are very happy to have the ability to come back and play our last 2 home games of this season in the City of Oswego. The kids very much appreciate it. Otherwise, like I said, I'd like to thank the council for their time, and I can answer any other questions that you may have.
Anyone else like to address the council? Miles?
I wasn't really prepared for all this. I should have bought a tie and shirt. I apologize to the common council for this. The school district has a notorious reputation. You can't embarrass them, so don't even try, okay? Because I've tried my best over the last 20 years, and I really ramrodded them too, especially in the benefit package. But their sports program is a fine example of somebody who doesn't care. Take a look at the football program, but that's not the only one. The basketball goes to Central Square back in December and gets beat 72-22. You think that's fun? And then getting beat 72-0 in a football game? A friend of mine went to the homecoming last year, walked out of the field after the first period because it was so bad. These coaches, I don't know what they're doing because, well, I'm going to admit to the fact that I do work at the Little League. I don't ever see a coach down there from that high school. I have never seen one down there. Not even interested in what he's got coming. That's a feeder program, just like everything else is a feeder program. Okay? I don't see any dedication from them. They get paid very well, $6 grand per person to coach. $6 grand. Okay? These salaries, I got on them in '02 when I ran. I got into them good. But you can't embarrass them. You can't. I've tried. And you know I can do it too. Poor Terry Hamill. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, I'll close public session and the meeting starts at 7:30. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
His Honor the Mayor.
Here.
Councilor McBrady.
Here.
Councilor DeMassey.
Here.
Councilor Hill.
Here.
Councilor Wilmot.
Here.
Councilor Gosick.
Here.
Councilor Tesserio.
He's excused.
Councilor Cordino.
Here.
6 present, 1 excused.
Thank you. Under the mayor's report, I just have one item, and that is Super Dirt Week's coming up from October 9th to October 13th at the Oswego Speedway, and we'd like to proclaim October 9th through the 13th as officially Super Dirt Week in the city of Oswego. As I learned after the first year Super Dirt Week was relocated here, it's actually not just a racetrack event or an event specific to the property of the racetrack. It's actually a full community event where it's like the whole city participates, and then you have a city within the city actually at the campground. So it's like, what do they call it, the biggest party of racing. So it's an exciting time, and you already see some of the signs going up, some of the billboards around, and we usually kick it off with a parade through town. I suspect we'll do that this year as well. So proclamation is proclaiming Super Dirt Week from October 9th, 2019 to October 13th, 2019, whereas the week of October 9th through the 13th will mark the 48th year of Super Dirt Week in Central New York, and whereas organizers and local officials will be celebrating the 4th running of this event in Oswego County, and whereas Oswego Speedway's renowned Steel Palace will host the main events with qualifying events held at other dirt tracks throughout Oswego County and Central New York, and whereas over the course of the week, nearly 35,000 fans and more than 300 competitors will gather in Oswego County to participate in the event, and whereas Friday, October 11th will celebrate dirt car racing in the city of Oswego, and whereas fans, sponsors, and participants from 18 states and 3 countries will generate an estimated economic impact of more than $12 million from the various activities associated with Super Dirt Week. Now therefore I, William J. Barlow Jr., as Mayor of the City of Oswego, New York, do hereby proclaim the week of October 9th through the 13th, 2019 as Super Dirt Week in Oswego County, New York, and that together we welcome our Super Dirt Week visitors and urge our residents to join in the excitement of dirt car racing and the festivities that Super Dirt Week brings to our communities. And we're joined by Planning and Tourism Director of Oswego County, Dave Turner, and Director of Super Dirt Week and Dirt Car, Jeff Hackman, to present this proclamation. On Friday, October 9th, Jeff's going to hand out some T-shirts to each of the counselors and here at City Hall, and I encourage everybody throughout the entire Oswego community on Friday, October 9th to sport your racing gear, your dirt car racing gear, and show Super Dirt some support as they visit Oswego once again for another year. Jeff, Dave, Rob, and Kevin, if you want to join us too.
Do you want all this? Thank you.
Well, I want to thank everybody that supports this event and being a part of this. Super Dirt Week is huge in Central New York. It's huge around the country, and I can tell you, put this on many years in Central New York. Had the Moody Mile was an incredible venue and an incredible event, but second to none, the city and the county up here in Oswego, #1 with support. Way more support than we've ever had before. We appreciate that. I love the opportunity to be able to talk to just about anybody through a text message, any given moment, and everybody's there to make this thing even bigger. So, Dirt Car Day is something, I want to thank David from the Tourism Board. We came up with an idea. The whole idea behind it is to paint the town, Super Dirt Week. Not just from the 9th through the 13th, but October 11th, the ticket promotions are Oswego residents, buy one, get one free. Kids 12 and under are free. College students are $10. So basically, a family of 4 with 2 kids under 12 years old could go to the races on Friday night for $25. So really thanking everybody for their support, but really want to paint the town, anybody who can help. We're going to get with the media. Tomorrow, maybe Wednesday at the latest, you'll see about 100 flags going up down 104 to support the scaffolding towers that we've already put in the entrances on each side of 104 and 481, recognizing the champions and recognizing Super Dirt Week, and we're encouraging all the retailers, schools, workplace on October 11th, Friday, October 11th, wear your motorsports stuff. Let's show everybody who's coming in from those 18 states and 3 countries what the city of Oswego thinks of Super Dirt Week. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right, any other comments from the council? Seeing none, will clerk please call Resolution 369?
Approve minutes common council meeting held September 9th, 2019.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Hill, any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk please call Resolution 370.
Approve use of public space, Justin Naylor, owner of a single-family dwelling located at 34 East 4th Street, in order to enclose an existing porch.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Wilmot, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk please call Resolution 371.
Approve use of public space, Diane Zeller, in order to host a block party on Sunday, October 6, 2019.
Councilor Wilmot, Councilor DeMassey, any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Will clerk please call Resolution 372?
Approve use of public space by the Buck Boosters in order to host the Buck Spirit 5K event on Sunday, October 6, 2019.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Corodino, any comments? Will clerk please call the roll?
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Will clerk please call Resolution 373?
Approve use of public space at Brightbeck Park, Kaylee Figueroa, representative of Alpha Epsilon Phi, in order to host AE Festival on Saturday, October 5th, 2019.
Councilor McBrearty, Councilor Hill, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey. Yes. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk please call Resolution 374?
Accept monetary donation to the animal shelter from a Pegasus benefit concert and from Bev's Lemonade stand.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Corodino, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk please call Resolution 375?
Authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with the Oswego City School District for school resource officers.
Councilor Hill, Councilor McBrearty, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk please call Resolution 376.
Authorize mayor and/or community development director to execute any and all documents necessary for the summer concert series in Water Street Square for the year 2020.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Corodino, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk please call Resolution 377.
Accept the evaluation proposal with GHD Consultants for the water storage tanks and authorize the mayor to sign appropriate agreements and further authorize the city chamberlain to advance funds to sign.
Councilor Gozick, Councilor Corodino, any comments? Clerk please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk please call Resolution 378.
Authorize mayor to enter into an agreement with B-Dry System of Syracuse and Utica Incorporated to remedy flooding issues with building number 31 at Fort Ontario, and further authorize City Chamberlain to complete a budget amendment for same.
Councilor DeMassey, Councilor Wilmot. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gossett.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrady.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes.
Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 379.
Authorize mayor to execute a memorandum of agreement with the Oswego City School District to help fund Oswego Pop Warner, and further authorize the City Chamberlain to complete a transfer of funds for same.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Corradino. This is the MOA with the, proposed MOA with the school district to fund through the rest of this year for the 2 remaining games and the games, potential games for next year for Oswego Pop Warner. Just some historical context here. This is something new, actually. Previously, the leaders of Pop Warner were actually given a key to the facilities and could come and go as they please. For whatever reason, that changed on the school district side of things, which I guess maybe I could understand for whatever reason. Now the issue is Pop Warner is actually charged to use the facilities in the city of Oswego, and the Oswego School District charged by the school district. That charge, the unforeseen charge and the new charge, is creating an additional burden on Pop Warner. They're having to take the money that they have and spend it on those fees. And that's really leaving them with 2 options. Number 1, raise the fee to play Pop Warner so that they have enough money to pay the charge, which I don't think is acceptable, because we need these youth programs to be affordable and accessible to families of all incomes, children of all backgrounds, or move the location of home games to outside the city of Oswego. Now, I'm a bit uncomfortable with the fact that Oswego Pop Warner has to play their home games in Palermo or Mexico or wherever they're playing them. They're, quote, home games, right? They're practicing here, but having to travel 20 to 30 minutes away to play a home game isn't accessible, and in some ways it's not affordable either. So I find that for whatever reason you can come up with, that's just not acceptable. Plus the whole concept of a home game is so you don't have to travel, your families can come and see, it's easy, you have the community support, which is actually valuable and means something to some people. And so it's important to have them play the home games here. So back in July, some folks from Pop Warner came to my office and explained this problem to me, and I put them in touch with a board member Brian Chetney. So this part isn't new. This isn't a problem that just came up in the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It was discussed back in July when a board member, I put Pop Warner in touch with the board member, they met, and the board member went to the rest of the board to discuss it. So July came and went, August came and went, September's here. No change. Pop Warner's having their games outside of Oswego because the school district still wants to administer the charge. So we came up with the idea to, well, let's see, the city has a $50 million budget approximately. I think we can find $2,000 to cover the rest of the games this year and the games next year, to pay the district the facilities charge and pay the district directly. The spirit of this MOA is a document that binds the school district and the city together to where the city will pay the school district directly, right, which makes sense. MOAs are pretty common between municipalities and between entities. We just voted on one with the school district, of all things, with the school resource officer. So it is legal. It can be done. It happens all the time, quite frankly. So we said, let's take $2,000 and enter this MOA so the city will pay the school district directly. Pop Warner can play their games at home. We'll cover the cost. It's a negligible amount. In my argument, even bigger than the actual dollar figure is the value, right? These youth programs are, number one, community builders. When people are looking to stay, decide where they want to live or where they want to stay, they look at schools, the quality of schools, they look at quality of neighborhoods, quality of parks, right? And that's why we've spent so much time and energy and money improving these areas and these amenities and these assets. But they look at the youth programming opportunities around the area as well. So there is a value, and I would even say it is in line with our return on investment-driven strategy, where if we have a Pop Warner program to offer, if it helps convince one family to stay or relocate in the city of Oswego, it's money well spent, worth it, and provides a return. So it's just bigger than the $2,000 or the $1,000 or the $200 a game or whatever the amount is any given day. It's a community builder, and secondly, they're feeder programs, right? So I find it a bit, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but the same week that school district announces there's no varsity football team, the Pop Warner folks are meeting with me saying there's no support financially for Pop Warner. Well, you know, I don't claim to be an expert on understanding youth and kids as they grow up, but I have a feeling that a kid does not wake up in 9th grade or 10th grade or 11th grade and say, I think I'm going to start playing football today. I think it starts probably when you're 6, 7, 8 years old, and you go to Pop Warner and you play through Pop Warner, and then you go to middle school, and then you go to high school. So, you know, if you want a varsity football team, which I think is a critical component to any high school anywhere, maybe you need to support the youth programs that develop those players and the kids so that they want to play and they're good when they get to JV and varsity. That seems to make sense to me. Who knows? So there are many different reasons why it's important where it goes just beyond the money. What's interesting is we had the committee meeting, and then the next night the board met, and I watched the tape, which was interesting to say the least. What I saw, what I took away from the board meeting is they spent about 1 minute talking about the issue of Pop Warner. They spent the next 6 minutes talking about misinformation and social media, but they couldn't say what the misinformation was, right? They said it's not good that there's all this misinformation out there, but then that, you know, I was waiting for what the misinformation was, and there wasn't any, and I think that's because there is a lack of information, so it's really hard to even generate misinformation because we don't know the real reason, right? The MOA is saying, look, it's not about money because the city's going to cover the cost. It's not about schedule because even if you have the field booked for the remaining home games, we're talking about next year. So it can't be a scheduling conflict. So what are the other reasons? And after watching the meeting, no reason. After reading a couple newspaper articles, no reason. A couple TV interviews, no reason. So I'm waiting for the reason. And once we get the reason, if it's a real reason, we'll work that out too. But we need to know what that is. Pop Warner needs to know what it is. Some of the other board members need to know what it is, because I don't think some of the board members even know what the issue is. And it sounds like, you know, 2 of them are willing to front some money, so they must support it. I know there's a 3rd that supports it. We need the 4th, and then we have the majority. So it's just a bit strange, and you know, when they spend more time talking about what they read on social media and misinformation and less time talking about the important topic, it's a bit concerning to me. I don't know what the misinformation was. And then they say city leaders, and I don't know what I could have possibly said, because all along I've been saying it's a partnership with the school district and the city. So a bit confusing there. Then in the meeting they say, well, if the city wants to make this happen, they can just pay Pop Warner directly. Wrong. The Pop Warner is a 501c3. A municipality cannot donate or gift anything to a 501c3. We know that. We've known that for a while. I assume the school district knows that, so I was a bit confused why they suggested that. Not to mention, not only is it illegal, we can't do that, but why would we do it when we can pay the school district directly? Why would we give the money to Pop Warner and then say, Pop Warner, you give the money to the school? Isn't that kind of like a middleman for no reason, right? Plus, we have the assurance on our end that the money's going to the school district to pay for this facility charge specifically, which is we're outlining in the MOA and telling our taxpayers. So that was a bit confusing, and then I understand that the board member who suggested pay the pay Pop Warner and then let Pop Warner pay the district, actually turns around and says, the city can't give the 501c3 money, it's illegal. I know, we know, that's why we brought up the MOA to begin with. You said give it to Pop Warner. So a bit confusing there, but back to my point, this is an MOA with the school district because, number one, we can't give money to Pop Warner as a city. Number two, it's the cleanest way to do it for all three parties involved. So hopefully we've cleared that up. I've heard that it's a union issue. We deal with these type of issues all the time here in the city. Yes, because games are on Sunday, you have to call in. Yes, it's charged to overtime. But yes, it's possible to do. I find it hard to believe, and I'm a bit perturbed, honestly, that the school district is saying it's a union issue. Usually unions and the union members are okay with OT. It's more pay for their members, and I don't think the union would fight this one, helping out Pop Warner and coming in to unlock the facilities for Pop Warner. We've dealt with similar issues here. You work through them. It's really easy. It's such a negligible cost. It's hardly worth this discussion. And the last issue I've heard is, well, and you hear this in government and politics on just about every issue. We hear it here every week. Well, if you do it for Pop Warner, are you setting a precedent? It's a slippery slope. You're going to keep doing it. You know, yes, Pop Warner's cheap, but if everybody else asks for their fees to be waived, it becomes expensive. Yeah, and which I agree with. I don't know what that total would be for the school district if there's several organizations requesting. Is it $30,000 a year, $40,000, $50,000? Even then, their budget's bigger than ours. I think, you know, we're still dealing with workable numbers, but I'm not going to be their budget expert. But there are policies you can implement to work around that, right? You can say, well, let's put a cap in. So organizations who only use the facilities 3, 4, 5, 6 times, that's okay for up to $2,000 or $4,000, whatever the cap is. If you're a regular organization and you use the facilities all the time and you're looking at an annual bill of $12,000, you know, maybe it is appropriate to charge after a certain amount of money. So if you want to get serious and come up with a serious solution, there's an option right there that you can do pretty easily with just tweaking the policy, which isn't hard to do. You can do it with a board vote. So those are a couple of things I've heard from the other side through board members and others of some of the obstacles that are presented for reasons to not do this that I think are pretty easy to work around. I mean, look what we've done here, right? If every time we figured out we couldn't do this or couldn't do that, or you know, it's a union issue, or you know, it's not traditionally how it's done, we would still be back in 2015 spinning around in our chairs. So I don't go for the answer of no, because there's a way. And then back to what I touched on earlier, I would just say it's nice that board members want to step up, but you know, quite frankly, that's the easy way. I think Pop Warner, even on your Facebook thread, you could have raised $2,000 pretty easy. I saw Gibby's, I saw Oscar Roofing, Kevin Hill here last week, right? That's easy, right? But that doesn't solve the issue. It's probably not sustainable. I don't think it's the answer. So while I commend the two board members for putting some money up, I guess, let's take care of the actual problem and not put up the easy solution and look nice and then leave out the back door and we still have the problem. So good for them. I appreciated doing it. I think their vote on this MOA is worth more than however much money they have committed. I think the MOA would be much more meaningful and impactful, but we'll take what we can get at this point because it's proving to be harder said than done. I never would have thought this MOA would be subject to so much speculation or criticism or whatever from the other side. And the next two games are 9/26, I believe, and 10/6. So I would encourage the district. I think they have a board meeting on the 1st. Let's get this approved on the 1st. Let's tell Pop Warner that we're going to approve it on the 1st. and they can schedule their last home game. That would be nice to have the last home game in Oswego. Let's tell Pop Warner that we'll sign the MOA so you can start scheduling your home games for next year and have the confidence. And when you go for sign-ups, you can tell the participants and people who are thinking about participating that your games will be played here. I think that's the right thing to do. I don't know what the school district's thinking. I don't know their rationale. I think there's a solution. I think it's easy. It's an easy solution. Let me be clear, my first preference is they don't need this MOA. Just waive the cost themselves, cover the cost themselves. That would be my first choice. My second choice is sign the MOA. Leave the politics out of it, or leave the conspiracy theories out of it, or whatever is the problem, because there's a solution. It's an easy solution, and we can get Pop Warner home for at least one game, but looking at next year. It's the right thing to do, and there's no reason why Oswego Pop Warner is traveling 25 minutes to play a home game. Any comments from the council? Councilor Hill?
I just want to echo the mayor's comments. It just seems absurd to me that a local organization would play home games in another community and be embraced by that community like it's their own. It's embarrassing. It's downright disgusting that we, have conditions that exist that would impose hardships on organizations that have such a lasting positive impact on children in our community. So I think it's important that we support this. I applaud the mayor for seeing this issue, finding a solution, and I applaud the members of the Administrative Services Committee for supporting the resolution during committee and presumably supporting it tonight. It's difficult to sit here and listen to the district, claim that there was misinformation. And I think the real issue is that the actual information got out. So they're confusing misinformation with real information. And for months, when this was quiet, nothing was done. And I don't think there was any intention to do anything. And the minute it saw the light of day, everybody scrambles, there's misinformation, there's conspiracy theories. So I think that, what we're seeing is a cleanup of sorts. It's great those two school board members stepped up, but it doesn't get to the issue. And putting roadblocks for, positive programs that help our children, it's the wrong thing to do. We have the ability to fix this. And I appreciate everybody's support on this. I think it's a great initiative for us, and it sends a message that, our community welcomes programs that help children. And it's important. It's important to us. It's important to everyone in the community. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other, I just have an amendment, but any other councilors have anything to say on this? So I'm just going to ask for an amendment, and it's just really cleaning up language from last week. Last week we said $1,000 for each year. This amendment says up to $2,000, so it's cleaner in whatever way the school district wants to say the charges are incurred. This will cover it. It doesn't change the spirit of the whole MOA. It's just cleaning up. It's a technicality. Can I have a motion to amend? Councilor Hill, Councilor Wilmot. Will clerk please call the roll to amend?
Councilor Gosick.
Yes to amend.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes to amend.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes to amend.
Councilor DeMassey.
Yes to amend.
Councilor Hill.
Yes to amend.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes to amend.
Resolution to amend passes 601.
And then I'll take a vote on the amended resolution.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Amended resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 380.
Approve transfer of funds from the general fund contingent account to the safety inspection miscellaneous expense account for use by the Code Enforcement Department.
Councilor Cordino, Councilor Gosick. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilor Gosick.
Yes.
Councilor Cordino.
Yes.
Councilor McBrearty.
Yes.
Councilor DeMassey. Councilor Hill.
Yes.
Councilor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 381.
Waive rules of the Common Council to present resolution number 382 from the floor without committee consideration.
Councilor Hill, Councilor Gosick. Any comments? Will Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBurdy.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Clerk, please call Resolution 382.
Approved sale of property located at 147 and a half West Bridge Street.
Counselor Hill, Counselor Gozick. This is to sell a piece of property next to what was Stone's Candy on Bridge Street. We actually gave a grant to Pizza Villa last fall. Pizza Villa is moving from their location on West Bridge Street to Stone's. Stone's moved downtown, so Pizza Villa, they're in this location. They're implementing a seating area to the restaurant, so they need a parking lot. So they asked for this piece of property, which right now is vacant. There was a blighted house on the property a couple of years ago, and that was torn down through the land bank, I believe. So they asked to buy this piece of property for $10,000 to extend this. Stone's already has a parking lot. They're just going to extend it a little bit more across the property line. Any comments? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBurdy.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Any unfinished business to come before the council? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Counselor McBurdy, Counselor Wilmot. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Gosick.
Yes.
Counselor Cordino.
Yes.
Counselor McBurdy.
Yes.
Counselor DeMassey. Counselor Hill.
Yes.
Counselor Wilmot.
Yes.
Resolution passes 601.
Meeting is adjourned.